you saw what winning an All-Ireland could do for Donegal at that stage.
Absolutely, it was an unbelievable experience. First and foremost, to be involved with the players, because these were all players that I looked up to. They had won an under-21 All-Ireland in '82 and '87, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was going to Ulster finals watching them, and then you're in the dressing room with them and you're watching them and you're trying to pick up bits and pieces in training. So it was a great experience for me on that level, and then to win it as well, and to see what it meant to the people of Donegal to bring the All-Ireland back for the first time ever was an incredible experience for any young person, you know.
Yeah. So if we move on to you becoming manager then, so I guess you took the job in 2010. The project, the experiment, or the system, kind of, we saw it first kicking in probably in 2011, and you weren't popular for it at that stage, and of course it kind of came to fruition this year then. Did you, you know, all this positive thinking and everything, did you firmly believe that you could take those guys and in 2 years you could win an All-Ireland with them?
Well, I think you have to have belief in what you're doing, and you have to have confidence in what you're doing. There's a lot of other factors though that impact into it. You know, the players with the right attitude and the right mentality on a consistent level. Every time they walk in the door, they want to be there. They're focused on their training. They're trying to get the most out of themselves. They're trying to be the best that they can be individually and collectively.
So you took a bunch of guys who, like, they weren't famed for their discipline before that, and they were kind of known slightly as party boys and stuff like that. So what is this? I know there's stuff about, you know, using the space on the pitch and where you put people and all that kind of stuff, but just, I'm not going to understand that fundamentally, right? The head stuff, though, I think is really interesting. So I think a lot of it was getting into their heads, wasn't it, and kind of showing them new ways of thinking, yeah?
Well, that's one of the things that I've enjoyed most about the journey over the last 2 years, is a lot of people had written the boys off, and there was a lot of negative press, you know, associated with them, and a lot of people questioning their character and stuff like that. I couldn't see that from the outside. I seen a talented bunch, and that's why obviously I went for the job, didn't get it, went for the job, didn't get it, and then got it. And I was the only person in for the job the last time I went for it. So,
it definitely would have been time to give up at that stage if you didn't get it then. Yeah. And there's 4 words that you kind of sum up the way you work with them, yeah?
Well, there's 4 words that I use, and I talk to young people a lot, you know, do a lot of work in schools and stuff, and the thing I find about young people, sports people, young people at school and everything else, confidence is a massive thing. You know, they don't believe in themselves, and there's young people in schools all over the country tonight, and they can be whatever they want to be. They can be doctors, they can be surgeons, they can be football players, if they totally make a commitment. The 4 words is commit, focus, believe, and achieve. And the hardest part of them, the hardest one of the 4 words to me would be the commitment, making that commitment. And on the very first day we met the players, on the 6th of November 2010, there was an article in a newspaper, in the Irish News. It was called The State of the Nation, and in that State of the Nation it gave the ratings of all the teams. We were rated 19th in the paper, and I remember holding the paper up to the lads, and I just asked them for their opinions. Why do you feel we're 19th in the country? And we broke them into groups, and 5 and 6 in a group. And I remember going back down about 10 or 15 minutes later and saying, are you happy enough? Are you ready to come back? And I said, no, give us another 5 minutes. And then went back down, give us another 5 minutes. And then I thought, there's something happening here, you know. There was a bit of a cleansing process going on here. Right. There was a lot of honesty in the room, a hell of a lot of honesty in the room. And it was a great, great start point for us. And we went for a bit of lunch after that. We came back from lunch. It went so well that I decided to give them another task. And the second task was, how do we get to number 1? What's going to be involved in that? How do we need to live our lives? What do we need to do in the training field? What does the management need to do? And once we had that all down on paper, we had boundaries, we had a vision. I then presented what I wanted to do, as did everybody else in the backroom team, in terms of their jobs to support the players. And it was a really good start point. And I don't normally get nervous. People don't believe me when I say that, but I don't normally get nervous when I'm involved with the team. But that day I was nervous. I was nervous going down to that meeting, because it's the first time you're meeting them. You're hoping for a positive reaction. You're hoping that they're going to have that focus that you have inside you, and that belief inside you. And when we left that evening about 4 or 5 o'clock, I had a good feeling inside me that
you knew I can successfully turn these guys into a cult.
No, I wouldn't wouldn't say that. No, not a cult, no, but I wouldn't say that. But what I knew was, I knew that they were going to be focused on giving it everything.
Okay.
There's no
So
guarantee.
you knew that the commitment was there.
There was a commitment made.
Yeah.
There was a commitment made on the day. And once we made the commitment, we had something to focus on. We had a hell of a lot to focus on because there were so many areas where we could strengthen.
Yeah.
And it was a matter then of getting a grip of that and trying to work through all them areas, identifying what was needed most, and then just pushing the thing forward in terms of what was required.
And I suppose you're an example yourself of how you can turn around the situation in that you left school originally when you were how old?
I would say between 15 and 16.
Okay. And you were working on as a labourer and stuff like that.
I was working labour.
How old were you when you went back and did the leaving?
What happened was I was in America, and then I came back from America, got picked for the squad, and then we'd won the All-Ireland, and then there was a couple of handy jobs for the boys having won the All-Ireland, and some of them got into the ESB, and a couple of them got into Telecom Éireann. We were in Telecom Éireann, myself and Tony Boyle, and I was in it for a few years, but I wasn't really happy because I was driven by sport, and my life was sport, and I wanted a career in sport, so I went back. With a good bit of debate with my mother at the time, I went back to do my leaving cert when I was 23. Finished was 25, then I done 2 years in Tralee, and then I went to Jordanstown, done my undergraduate there, and then my masters in Liverpool. And in relation to the confidence thing, you know,
yeah.
Every time when I went to do my leaving cert, I didn't feel confident enough when I was going to do it because I'd failed so miserably the first time.
Yeah.
And when I had done that and I got good results, I got accepted to Tralee, and then I still wasn't confident about taking that on, and I got through it anyway, and then I got the degree, and then I think, geez, I'm not good enough to go to university,
yeah.
And you know, you get through that, and then you push yourself on to the next thing, and that confidence thing is it's step by step, and it's confidence all the time. It's the same with the football team, and we just took it last year step by step.
Okay.
We played a certain style in order to win games, in order to get traction, and if you can get traction and you can get results, then you can build confidence.
So confidence breeds confidence.
Whereas if you get beat,
yeah.
you don't have a second chance to move forward, and that was very important because we had played, not in my time, but before that, we played in an awful lot of seasons where there was a lot of expectation and there was big games, and then the team would flop on the day, or we would get maybe ran over by one of the top teams, and that was hard for the players to take.